Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, welcome, whether you're watching it live or whether you're watching it later on. Thanks very much for joining us. It's not going to be a long session today, just about an hour, because I'm meeting somebody at 5:30ish, a subscriber that has come back over to Thailand to have another look to see if he's going to make the final move and come over here. So here we go. I'm a little bit early, so if there's somebody in the house that can have a look. Everything working, I'll just write a message there. Hello. Should be working. Give me a thumbs up if everything's working. Hello. Oh, there we go. Must be working. I've got an answer. So welcome to the Retired and Living the Dream. It's been a while, I know, since I've done a video, but I've just released a video today, and it goes on about retirement, and retirement is a huge subject, isn't it? And it got a lot of attention in the first 30 minutes. I think got about 200 views in the first 30 minutes. So if you haven't seen it yet, go and have a look at it. All good, Les in Manchester. Thanks very much. So there's me, Retired and Living the Dream mug. So it's going to be a bit of a light-hearted one today. Some interesting facts and some funny little anecdotes. Because last time I did the live stream, we were talking about visas mainly for 2 hours. So that's all still up in the air with visas and people wanting to come to Thailand. Thailand at the minute, I still think they're shooting themselves in the foot with all the restrictions and all the bureaucracy, all the red tape and more red tape. And I don't think it's going to get any better soon. So it may be a year or so before they actually realise that they've shot themselves in the foot and they need to readdress it. They are treating, in my opinion, certainly the retirees here who've got the retirement visas, who actually help support the country. They're not making it any easier for these people to come here. And with the restrictions on taking your money out, you know, if you've got the 800,000 in, the banks are having their little say now, especially the Bangkok Bank, where they're saying you have to hold the money in there for 4 months and not 3 months. And that's the banks, not the immigration. So they all need to get together and make a decision. But there's a new government, or there's new votes going on, I think, today. So let's see how the new party moves forward, and let's hope that they move in the right direction. Because at the end of the day, Thailand is still a wonderful place to live. I sing its praises, as I did in the video that I've just done. And it's a wonderful place to live. And we'll just go on about that in a minute. So 11 people in. Thanks very much for those 11 people coming in. Again, your chance to ask any questions whatsoever. I'm just going to ramble on today because I've got a few little things that I'm going to say. But if anybody's got any questions, I'm here to answer any of the questions that you may have. I've been showing people various properties around here, around where I live. And there's certainly been an uptick, an upmark with the people certainly wanting to move to Rayong. I've sort of got to say it is certainly in my top 10 places to live in Thailand, without a doubt, Rayong. Having just come back from holiday to Koh Samui, Koh Lantern, down south, Krabi, you just can't beat the value. You can't beat the value. We have lovely beaches here. The food's lovely. Everything's cheap and affordable to live here. So there's singing the praises of Rayong again. So we're nearly at 4 o'clock, and when we get to 4 o'clock-ish, I'll start reading a few little ditties out. Manchester, all good, loud and clear, fantastic. So today's topic, we're going to talk about the retirement, and everybody knows, well, the amount of people that wrote in the comments that I come across as a genuine, honest, reliable person. Thanks very much for saying them kind words. But the truth and the reality is that I am. I tell it how it is. I don't give any BS. I don't sugarcoat everything. I tell it as it is. And when I meet some of the subscribers, I'm blunt and honest and truthful with them as well. If you ask me the questions, I'll be honest and truthful with you. Some of my subscribers liked it, and some of them didn't like it. And but I think it's no good coming over to Thailand with false hopes and false realizations, and just because you're a foreigner, you think every Thai girl is going to fall head over heels in love with you and be with you for the rest of their life. Sometimes it doesn't work like that, you know. But I've had a lot of funny stories. But I've sort of given advice for various bits and pieces. I mean, I'm no guru or anything. I don't know it all. I've made some big mistakes in my life during getting married and divorces and bankruptcy and things like that. So I've sort of got a lot of life experiences, and not all good life experiences. But at the end of the day, I'm survived, and I'm here, and I'm living in this beautiful country. So I haven't done everything wrong, have I? But I'll just give you this one little story. In my firefighter days, I was in the last 10 years of my career in the fire service, and we were all in our late 40s now watching. There was only 9 of us on duty, and we got told that we were going to get a new recruit, and the new recruit was 23 years old, and we were all in our late 40s. So we've been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt. And it's just like, oh, we don't want to recruit, because if we have a recruit, we have to do all the extra work, we have to do the extra training, blah, 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 as it goes on. But anyway, as it turned out, he was like a bit of an inspiration, because he came on and he was fresh out of university, and he came to our watch, and he was a nice lad. So, of course, all the old fire stories came out, many years ago, all the fires that we've been to, reminiscing of all the things that we've been doing. And we always used to sit around the mess table on an evening time, for a meal and stuff like that. And there was this one day, this lad, while we're having a meal, he said, okay, he said, this has nothing to do with the fire brigade. He says, general life experience. He said, have you got any pointers that, you can point me in the right direction? He said, I'm 23-year-old. He said, all the guys are here are, experience in life and one thing and another. So have you got any words of wisdom? So everybody just like looked around, and I said, I'll start with this one if you like. And I said, there's 9 of us on this table. I said, and 7 of us have been divorced. So out of 9, 7 been divorced. So I said, my advice to you, young man, I said, is don't get married. Wait until you get to your 40-year-old and 50-year-old. Then look for the woman who's been divorced and got the house and the car and the kids are all grown up and everything. I said, because if you go the other route where you have to, well, this motorbike goes. So if you go the other way, you get married and buy a house and have kids and things, you're going to lose it all. And he just laughed and everybody else laughed. But how many people are watching this video have been in that boat? I've got to stick my hand up, and I've been in that boat. I worked hard for my wife and my kids and my family. I was a family man, hardworking, always have been, and lost everything. So the majority of guys, I believe, that's watching this video today are either been in that boat or know somebody that's been in that boat. So that was just a quick anecdote of, for always giving examples and helping people out. And I've always got I'm good at solving problems. There's a solution to every problem in life. It might not be the best solution, but there's always a solution. And it's just nice to impart knowledge and listen. I'm a people person. I like to hear people's stories. And other people during my life have actually changed my life as well with the stories that they've told me and information and guidance. So I'm like a sponge. I just take everything up, and it's nice to be able to get something back. What's the air quality like here? At the minute, I think it's okay. I've got emphysema. I'm not coughing or sneezing or barking type thing. But yeah, the burning season's amongst us. I haven't looked on the index of days to see what the weather forecast is like or what the pollution level is, but it's certainly not as bad as Pattaya or Bangkok, that's for sure. Greetings, and I hope you and a lovely wife are doing okay. Yeah, my wife comes back on the 10th. My wife, since we come back off holidays, she's been helping out at the farm. Ploy's dad's, he's got gout and he's suffering pretty bad, and it's sugar cane cutting season. And it's not just Ploy's family that are cutting the sugar cane, everybody's cutting sugar cane, and the farm work's always busy. So Ploy went up there to lend a helping hand for a month. Well, it'll have been 5 weeks. So I've been all on my own for 5 weeks now, and she's come back on the 10th. But yeah, she's doing okay. Thanks very much for asking. Never pay for what Pookie or Ray get for free. I don't know what that is. And never pay for another man's save. I think I get your drift now, yeah. Hi, from Kosovo. You never make the wrong decision. You only change your destiny. Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about that. It is. You know, we all have a path to tread, and at the end of the day, whichever path we go, we don't do it for the wrong reasons. We don't go down that path and think, this is a bad move, but I'm going to go down it anyway. We do it for the best reasons and best intentions. So anyway, a little bit of lightheartedness from this one. I was looking at various things today, and I came across this. This is quite funny, really, because regular people who watch my channel know I've lost 26 kilos on the keto diet. So I've gone from 118, I'm 93 kilos now. So I'm happy at that. And that was a lifestyle decision to lose weight. I don't do any exercise. I hated exercise, never, ever liked exercise. And the amount of people said, you need to walk more, you need to do this. And of course, it's true. You should do more exercise. But I do stuff around the garden. I've been altering the roof on my coffee corner. So for me, that gives me my exercise. I'm not just sat on the sofa all day. But these are a few little ditties that I liked. The inventor of the treadmill died at the age of 54. The inventor of gymnastics died at the age of 57. A world bodybuilding champion, I don't know who he was, but one of the world bodybuilding champions died at the age of 41. And one of the best footballers, e.g. Madonna, died at the age, Maradona, not that I follow football much, died at the age of 60. All fit people. And founder of KFC died at the age of 94. And the founder of Nutella died at the age of 88. And the founder of Hennessy died at the age of 98. If a rabbit eats grass and runs about all day, it only lives for a maximum of 2 years or so. A turtle doesn't do any exercise, just swims about all day, eating plants and stuff like that, and lives for up to 200 years. So the moral of the story is eat, drink, and enjoy your life. And when you get to that retirement age, which majority of people are who are watching my channel, it's a fantastic time to be alive. But you've got to do things about it. You've got to make a positive change, because, wow, it is a big, big change in your life. You've got more time to do things that you're probably wanting to do for all of your life. So this is the time to do it. Have a plan before you retire. It just doesn't creep up on you with regard to retirement, just turns up and, oh, here I am now, I've got nothing else to do. And for those people who say 10 years before the retirement, you've got 10 years to make a difference. For those people, and I've had a few people talking to me and emailing me, said, I won't have enough money when I retire. I've got 10 years to go before I retire. I haven't got a private pension, so I'm just going to rely on the state pension. And as majority of people might know, if you retire to Thailand on your state pension, you don't get any increases every year. But saying that, there's a meeting in the Houses of Parliament next week to discuss this as well. There's always teams of people working on trying to readdress this. But let's just take it that you still won't get your pension rise. But you've got 10 years to be able to do something about it. 10 years to be able to, even if you save a small amount of money every month, it all adds up over a 10-year period. And if you're invested, then you've got the funds to be able to retire. And many people, and I've got to say many people have emailed me and asked me how much is enough. Now, what's enough for me and what's enough for you might be two different things. Enough for me, and again, have a look at this video that I've just done today, is $1,800. So it's just short of £1,400 a month, and I can live on that. And we have a good lifestyle on that amount of money. So you can see where I live. You've seen where I've been on holidays. I don't have a great deal of money invested in the bank or anything. I've got a little bit for emergencies, but not a lot. I sort of live from paycheck to paycheck every month. And yeah, I've got medical insurance and stuff like that with the visas sorted out. So I am the budget person who's living on a budget. I haven't got heaps of money tucked away for a rainy day. I just hope it doesn't rain. But if it does rain, I'm sure I've got enough money to buy me an umbrella or something like that. So yeah, you've got to do various things in life. Don't be afraid of retirement. And, you know, if you don't know how much is enough, go and live in the country for 6 months and then find out how much it's going to cost you to live in that country of your choice. Yeah. They couldn't be more wrong. I'm going there for food, culture, and price. KFCs, I love it. I'm saying that I haven't had a KFC for a long time. So, again, but I like Thai food and stuff like that. And if anybody wants to have a look, I've got some ebooks about living in Thailand, the keto diet and stuff like that, because I do feel much more better. Although there's lots of people have wrote mentioned in comments that I looked ill. Maybe I put 2 or 3 kilos back on now since I've come back off holiday, because I've been looking after myself. So I've been eating 7-Eleven food and cooked food, and I've cooked a little bit at home, but not a lot. So I've probably eaten all the wrong stuff. But Ploy's back home next week, so back to normal living again. But yeah, you know, health is wealth at the end of the day. And I know quite a few gentlemen who are rather heavy, if you like, in their later years. That's got to be a struggle on your heart and for a stroke risk and things like that. When you get older, you've got to sort of mitigate them lists, or make sure that you go for checkups and things like that. So let's have a look. Just having to look at my little list here, just to keep it's my little aid memoirs. So you don't have to be rich to enjoy your retirement. It's finding what you can do with the amount of money that you've got. And believe you me, over here, and the guy that I'm meeting today, we've had two meetings, and both meetings I said for sure, and I've showed him that you can live on £1,000 a day. Sorry, anybody can live on £1,000, £1,000 a month, should I say. And you can live quite a good lifestyle with that. And I know several guys who are living on that amount of money here in Thailand. It may not be the best life with comparison to what some people may think, but it's all to do with your quality of life. And if you don't have a lot of money in the UK, you're not going to have a really good life, are you? But that little bit of money that you've got in the UK stretches a lot further over here in Thailand than it does in the UK, that's for sure. I know you get benefits and things like that if you're living in the UK, but for 6 months of the year there's no sunshine, and you can't the quality of life with a feeling of warmth and feeling good, that's got to be worth a price in itself anyway. So anyway, what do you people think? You know, put a comment in the comments there below. I know you've addressed this, but can you extrapolate how it's better to start the OA visa process in country versus starting it in Thailand. The OA process is outside of Thailand. There's two visas. There's the OA and then there's O, based on retirement. Now, the OA, again, is done through your home country. But the problem with the OA is that you've got to have insurance for the time that you are here in Thailand. And it has to be with a Thai company. So that can work out quite expensive. But you can apply for an O visa based on retirement from the embassy in your home country and then carry on getting that O visa in Thailand. And by doing that, then you can show you've got your 800,000 in the bank in your home country, or you can show that you've got an income method by going through the embassy. That, for me, is the better way to do it. The other way of doing it as well is, okay, the agents have their magic wand and wave it and make wonderful things happen. So for those people that are really, there's a number of ways that you can still do it, and they're all legal. They're all legal. I wouldn't recommend anybody to do anything illegal. But you could, in the meantime, in the early days, certainly if you don't have the 800,000 baht, then it's like the chicken and egg situation. You can have it on an income method, but you've got to show that you've got 12 months money going into a Thai bank account. And if you've just moved over here, well, that's impossible to do. So basically what I suggest is that you can use an agent to get your retirement visa in the first year. And if it's your first time application, you get a visa it works out for 15 months. So for 12 months of that 15 months, you put 65,000 baht into your bank account every month. And then the following year, when you go to renew your visa, you can do it on the income method because you're putting 65,000 in. And then your visa is only going to cost you 1,900. So there is ways and means of getting around the system. And it's all legal because, the hardest part is getting the bank account opened for sure. And that's not going to get any easier in the short term. But I hope that helps. But again, just you can call the embassy because they speak English in the embassy, and they'll tell you, or they'll email you and tell you exactly what you need, dot for dot, and then you can know yourself that you're going to be covered. Like the immigration department, people are scared to go to the immigration department. They're there to help you when all's said and done. So the immigration, they're a mind of knowledge, and wherever area you live in, because they don't all sing by the same hymn sheet, if you go to your local immigration office, they will tell you what they want, not what some other office wants, because an office up country is totally different to an office down in certainly Pattaya or Jomtien and Rayong or Konkan or Udon Thani. They're all different, although they're all supposed to sing by the same tunes, they don't. So I hope that helps. And perhaps address is important of health insurance. Earlier, reliable carrier Pacific Cross, who will underwrite you if you started with them. Yeah, my insurance is with Pacific Cross, and touch wood, I've never ever had to claim for it, and I hope I don't have to claim for it. But that's the only time that you know if it's a good policy or it's not policy, if they pay out. And, hopefully that's a long way off for me having to claim anything. Hiya, Les, good on you from here on the Thai farm. All good and agree with you. The only thing that gets me down is the disgraceful Udon Thani driving. Best wishes to you. Yeah, the quality of driving over here isn't the best in the world, is it? But saying that, I know there's a lot of accidents and a lot of deaths over here in Thailand, but a lot of the deaths are caused by speeding and motorbikes. That is a huge number of people who die in this country because of alcohol, speeding, and no helmets on motorbikes and things like that. In general, the roads are pretty good. I remember I had hired a car when I came from Thailand back to England, hired a car from London Heathrow, and I drove from London Heathrow back up to Teesside, Redcar, where I lived. And that was like a 6-hour drive. And when I come back to drop the car off at London Heathrow, I thought, okay, I'll give myself some 5 hours early at the airport, giving myself plenty of time. So I set off plenty of time before I got to London Heathrow, and there was 2 accidents on the motorways, and I got to the airport with half an hour to spare, thinking I've got 5 hours in which to, to get to London Heathrow. So way above time than I expected, and I ended up just being there 30 minutes. That's just to say how many accidents there is in the UK. The UK, you held up for hours and hours on a crash. If there's been an accident on the motorway, dual carriageway, the police shut the road for up to, if there's been a death, up to 24 hours. So that causes all sorts of things, delays, and the sheer volume of traffic in the UK is horrendous. So yeah, I mean, I've got mixed feelings about driving here in Thailand. As you've seen when I went to the video, as you can see, when I went to Koh Samui in Koh Lanta, the traffic was very quiet going down there. It was wonderful. No complaints. I wonder if that's a delivery coming. I've got a delivery coming today from Lazada. So it's not the usual truck or car. Quite a noisy exhaust in the back, isn't it? Oh no, driving away. Why do people have noisy exhausts over here? Some of the motorbikes that have making it sound like a Kawasaki 1300, and it's a little 125 Honda Wave. Hi, Scott from New Zealand. Always welcome, mate. Thanks very much for joining us. So has anybody got any questions? Let's have a look. See what else we've got here. Again, if anybody's got any questions and they want to ask me anything, please feel free to send me an email, and I read every email and I answer every email that's sent to me. Again, like, I read all the comments and I try to answer majority of the comments, but sometimes when you get 1,000 comments, it's very difficult to answer every one of them. So that's very rare that I get 1,000 comments, but on some of my videos that's been 8,000 or 9,000, and one of them 200,000 views. It's a lot of comments to try and answer to, so sometimes you can't do that. So if anybody's got a question, please put a capital Q at the beginning, and then I can see that it's a question. Then I can go from there. Can an Australian meet a wife in Rayong? You can meet a wife anywhere in the world, can't you? Yes, you can. You can meet a wife anywhere. It depends where you look as well, doesn't it? There are plenty of ladies available no matter where you go in Thailand, because it's sort of a bit of a status symbol if you're married or you're going out with a foreigner, because one, us Western guys tend to take care of the girls a lot more better than the Thai people do. And two, the income and security and stability is more advantage to them, because we're classed as more stable and things like that. So yeah, there's a number of things with regard to finding a Thai girl, but there's a lot of sharks out here as well, especially if you go to the Pattaya or the Bangkok entertainment zones. The girls who go there in the first place might be that, sugar and spice and all things nice because they come from the country, or no idea how the world works. But then within working in Pattaya or Bangkok for the 4 or 5 months, they get very, very streetwise. And sadly, that changes some of them. But, that's the way it goes, isn't it? It's not easy for them to do what they need to do. But some of them, the girls that work in the villages and things like that, how are they going to meet a foreigner? It's like my wife, where she works in the village at home. There's no 7-Eleven, there's no bars, there's nothing there. So how many guys, even if they met a girl on the internet, would actually travel 6 hours, like from where I am to my wife's farm, and go and see somebody and stay in a little resort on the just a chance of meeting somebody who maybe couldn't speak very good English anyway? So that's why the girls come down to Pattaya in Bangkok to try and find the foreigner, who the shining knight on, the shining knight of armor on a white horse, and who's going to take them away from all the troubles. But then you have to be realistic with yourself as well, don't you? What are you looking for? Like earlier on in my video that I talked about, is that we guys have baggage as well. I've been married 3 times. So I have all that baggage of what went on with my marriages and my feelings and the distrust of women and things like that. Some guys just can't get over that, and they treat all the women in the world with distrust, that they're going to rip them off and spoil their relationship. Who knows? You've got to come to Thailand with an open mind. And if you're looking for somebody nice over here, you can find somebody nice. How was the recent trip around Phang Nga, and is it true that the tourism is at an all-time low? Well, Phang Nga was our last place that we stopped at, but we only stopped in Phang Nga. We didn't actually go down to the beach and things like that. We went to see a friend of mine, Bad Badja. He's a friend of mine on YouTube, so we went down to see him. We had a coffee and put the world to rights on a particular day. So, but Phang Nga was beautiful. So we're going to go back down there and have a look, because it's lovely. But no, the tourism, we went to Koh Samui and I hated Koh Samui. It's not like the Koh Samui I knew from 23 years ago. And of course, I know everywhere changes, but this had changed to the horrible place. I couldn't wait to get away from Koh Samui. The traffic was horrendous. It was busy. It was full. I know it was Christmas time, and many people say that I went to a tourist place, but I envisioned how it was when I went in November 23 years ago, and that was like high season, and it was like stunningly beautiful. It changed my life for the better. But Chuang, we went through Chuang. I couldn't wait to get out. We never even stopped in the place. We just carried on because my wife said, I don't want to stop here. I don't want to go here. And it was just horrendously busy. Koh Lanta was nice. That was like Koh Samui was 20 odd years ago. It was still quiet, although there was many tourists on there. It certainly had a quieter vibe, and I liked it much better. But I've got to say, the best island that I've been in around Thailand, and we haven't been to the Koh Taus yet. We're going to go there next year. But Koh Kud up here, it's just stunningly beautiful. That is my analogy, and that is my dream of a beautiful tropical island, that it's just stunningly beautiful and easy to get around and so laid back and relaxed. Koh Kud. So if you're ever up in that area, Koh Kud is next to Koh Chang, a beautiful, beautiful island, and not as packed as the islands down south. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Question. I know you're a big animal lover. My biggest Uncle is 5-year-old Labrador here, who I love. How easy is it to move to there with a big dog in tow? Seems easier with a child or a pet. Yeah, you can bring your dog over here. There's a friend of mine who's got a big Alsatian German Shepherd dog. He brought it over from France, and it's a beautiful dog. But yeah, you've got to think that the dog's going to notice the change in the weather and the hot and the heat. Certainly, because now we're coming up to the hot season, which is in another 2 months. It's really, really hot and humid. So yes, you can bring a dog over here. There's a lady I knew. She had 6 dogs, like little Jack Russells, and she had a big garden for them to run around in. But she got used to sitting inside the house with the air conditioning units on. So even though she had a big garden for the dogs to run around, basically she opened the dogs to go outside and do the business and come back in, and they all sat inside the house with the air conditioning on all the time. And it's just like everything else. If you get used to the air conditioning, then you won't venture outside. So for me, it's difficult for the dog, but it's not impossible, and you can do it. But also think of the dog. It's going to feel that heat, that's for sure. When was the last time you went to Koh Samet? Oh, must be about a year or so ago. We're thinking of going in the next week or two. I've got a friend of mine who was coming over 1st of March. He's coming over 1st of March, so we might go for 2 nights at Corsomet. But Corsomet, again, is beautiful, and it's on our doorstep. It's only 30 minutes away. The only thing that puts me off with Corsomet is all the other islands. It's funny, this, isn't it? All the other islands are cheaper to visit than Corsomet because you have to pay 200 baht to get on the island because it's a national park, and you pay 200 baht to the army, and that ticket lasts you for 5 days. If you don't leave the island, the chances of them checking, if you stay there for a week or 2 weeks, the chances of them checking again is very, very slim. It's only actually when you leave the island that they'll check when you come back. But yeah, it's expensive. The hotels are more expensive than Koh Chang or Koh Kud or Koh Mak, which are much smaller islands, but they're 3.5 hours away from here. But yeah, I mean, Koh Samet, it's got one of the top 10 whitest beaches in the world, so it's a beautiful location, without a doubt. Who likes Chatham? Me, I like Chatham. I was there. Chatham, it's like a poor version of Hua Hin. Hua Hin's much more upmarket, much more sophisticated, if you like, and there's a lot more going on in Hua Hin. But again, it's more expensive to live in Hua Hin, but 20 miles away in Chatham, it's much cheaper. And the beaches are nice as well, and you can still get some reasonable accommodation there. And the prices of food is again cheaper than living in Hua Hin. It swings and roundabouts, really. It depends what your budget is. If you've got the budget to live in Hua Hin's haven't And if you haven't got the budget to live in Hua Hin, well, Chatham is just as nice. But again, as I say, sometimes, I mean, somebody wrote to me, why did I travel 1,000 kilometers to go and sit on the beach, down in Koh Samui or Koh Lanta, when we've got beautiful beaches here? And he was 100% correct. But we traveled that distance because my wife had never been. I'd been to Koh Samui, and I just wanted to go and reminisce and go and look at it again and go down to Koh Lanta because I'd never been to Koh Lanta. But in reality, everything's on our doorstep here. This is why I like Rayong. Most people think Rayong is industrial and chemical, which it is. But Rayong's such a big province. We're like 60 kilometers away from the main industry area, where maybe 35 kilometers to the nearest industrial part of Rayong. So again, it's just a lovely place to live here. No problem, Scott. Thanks very much for the question. What time is it now? 4:30. So yeah, some of the people that I've spoke to over the last week or two are asking about property price. And we have a landlady here, and she's got 2 houses that are up for rent at the present. She's got about 15, but the quality of the houses that she's got is so exceptional that they're not empty very long. And now she's just having another house renovated, and that'll become available at the end of March, maybe halfway through April. So I'll do another video on that. But the house prices here, she has about 15 houses, and the range from the cheapest is 8,000 up to the most expensive 20,000, and like everything in between. But they're all done to a very, very high standard and high quality. And the majority of people that come and have a look at it agree. But where we live, it's sort of semi-remote, even though we're like 15 minutes away from the Banpei where we do our shopping. Some people still tend to think it's a bit remote. We're 8 minutes away from the beach, but it suits us. It does us. Rayong isn't the place for single guys to come, I don't think, because there is entertainment in Melonpun Beach area. I was down there last week with a friend of mine, Purple Haze, and then the Bamboo Bar. And I stayed in a hotel because I don't drink and drive. And I was out with my friend David and the lady, the cat lady, the cat sanctuary lady. She had a couple of other ladies that were out with her, and an elderly American and an elderly Canadian. So we had a good night. I got home about 1:30 in the morning. But I stayed at a hotel in between these two bars, 490 baht to stay in a hotel. And I've got to say, it's got to be the best 500 baht hotel that I've ever stayed in the 13, 14 years that I've been here in Thailand. It was superb. The quality, there was nothing loose, nothing shaky, no dusty, very clean. The bed was very comfortable. The duvet was very nice and the pillows were good for 490 baht. And I'm just trying to think of what it was called. They don't advertise them room rates online. You've got to turn up on the day, but it's such a massive hotel that 9 times out of 10, they have rooms available. In fact, we're going there on the 18th to the 20th of this month for 2 nights, but we've just got to turn up. And then she said we have 17 rooms at that type of price, so we don't advertise it, but if you just turn up, that's a special offer, 490 baht. So that's what I'm saying. Why do you need to go and drinking and driving all over the place? You know, if you do want a good night out and have a few beers, then just stop at a hotel. It's cheap as chips, you know, 500 or 600 baht. You can have as much beer as you want, sleep it off, get up in the morning, have a bit of had an English breakfast, and then I came home. So that's the beauty of living in Thailand. You know, it's why there's no need to drink and drive. There's no need to take them risks, is there? I live 25 kilometers from the 2 bars that I went to with my friends. 25 kilometers. So is it worth the risk driving home late at night if you've had a few beers? The chances of getting pulled up by the police is next to zero anyway, unlike the UK, where the police are, it's like a whack-a-mole, isn't it? You know, with the police, they'll catch you eventually. But over here, for me, it's not worth the risk. For 490 baht, 500 baht to stay the night. I do that every time. How much is the car insurance in Thailand? Okay, well, it depends what type of car it is. But I can use my car as an example. It is a Nissan, 7 years old. 7 years old this year in November. So just over 6 years, 6.5 years old. And it is valued at 240,000 baht. So the insurance for that is 7,000, and that's for me and my wife to drive, or anybody over the age of 30 and myself to drive. That's fully comprehensive insurance. So yeah, the insurance is reasonable over here. The motorbike is 2 years old this week. That's up for renewal for insurance. That's 600 baht for basic insurance. 600 baht, which is not a lot of money, is it? About 14, 15 pound, including the tax. So it's not a lot. Again, I just go for the expensive insurance, class 1 insurance all the time. You got better cover and it's not prohibitively expensive. It's the car insured that's insured and not the driver. Yeah, driving a night in rural Thailand is a risk, drunk or not. I agree, 100%, yes. Because motorbikes, loads of motorbikes around here with no lights on, no backlight, no front lights, and dogs will just jump out. Yeah, it's just silly. Why take the risk? You know, that's my idea. Les, is it good to join the expat? Well, I was a member of the expats club in Pattaya, and it was good. I got a lot of contacts there, and I also joined another for professionals. So there's the main expats club in Pattaya, and then there's other expats clubs, which are a little bit more sophisticated, if you like. The one that I went and did some talks at where there were doctors, lawyers, dentists, helicopter pilots, and airline pilots. So a different group of highly professional people. And I did 2 talks at the expats club in Pattaya, and then 1 talk at this highly professional people expats clubs. And then I went out and had a few beers with them, and they were just like normal everyday people. They were fantastic. It was good. So yeah, the expats club is full of information. They have all sorts of cards there. I took out my insurance with the expats club in Pattaya, and again, I've had it with them for many, many years. So yeah, again, like wherever you move in Thailand, there's sort of Facebook groups as well. I'm a member of the Rayong Facebook group here, and they tell you what's going on, events and social events and stuff like that. So yeah, there's no excuse for you not to find out what's going around in the area and talking to different people and meeting different people. People are friendly over here. Then you get some people who are not so friendly. Like I say hello to everybody. If I see a foreigner, no matter where I am, I'll nod my head and say hi, good morning, hello. And the amount of guys sometimes just look at you as if, who are you talking to? But that's the way it goes, isn't it? Not everybody's friendly. You only have class 2. That's if the car's, I think it's class 3 if it's over 10 years old. It's a little bit more difficult to get a car fully comp if it's over 10 years old. Hi Les, do you know if there are any training schools in Thailand that teach a beginner to build confidence and properly drive a motorbike scooter in Thailand? Yeah, there are driving schools in Thailand that will teach you how to drive. Yeah, there is driving schools. And for you to get a license over here, if you want to take your driver's license over here, then it has to be an English-speaking instructor. But if you've already got your license, then that's no problem. Then you can go and do it by yourself. But yeah, there's anything and everything that you want to do over here. But the driving schools are good. My wife, she had a driving instructor, and he was very good, very patient with her. And within 2 days, she was driving around in the car from not wanting to drive in the first place. She's still a bit nervous. She's going to take a long time before she gets a full confidence. But on the roads, quiet roads, it's all quiet around here, so she'd have no problem really driving just locally. But she would never ever drive in the big cities like, Pattaya or Bangkok or something like that. Even I, I'd be lost without the sat-nav. Sat-nav is my go-to piece of equipment for driving around in places that you don't know about. But yeah, there are definitely schools that you can learn to drive in. Lots of lost money after the floods. Many cars not covered for flood. Yeah, again, living in a flooded area, again, that can cause problems as well. Yes. Les, you retired at 50. Has there ever been a time where you felt bored and regretted retiring early? Not one moment have I felt bored or I retired too early. No. Because I did various things. So when I retired from the fire brigade at the age of 50, I had other strings to my bow, if you like. So I've always been able to make money. And what I did, I went back to I went back to college at the age of 42 to get me City and Guilds to be an electrician. And I started my own electrical business whilst I was in the fire brigade. So the last 10 years of my fire brigade career, I was also on my days off being an electrician. I had my own electrical business. So that was a string to my bow. So that was always in the back of my mind. If I need to make some money, and an electrician, I was probably making more money as an electrician on my days off than I was being a firefighter. And then when I did retire, because I love caravanning, I went on a caravan maintenance course. It was a 2-week course on how to service a caravan, how to do your gas checks and everything. That was a fantastic, because I love caravanning anyway. So I started the caravan servicing business because we were going to travel all around Europe. And I just thought there's plenty of Brits over there with their caravans. So I'll make a little bit of money servicing people's caravans in France and Spain. And I only ever serviced one caravan. It cost me £4,000 for the course. I serviced one caravan, and because my electrics took me all over France, it took me to France, took me to Spain, took me to Italy, even took me to Koh Kud in Thailand. the electrics was more profitable than caravan servicing. So yeah, learn a skill, do something with your time so you've always got another string to your bow. I've helped out many people over here with the electrics on an advisory position, of course, because you're not allowed to work over here. And but yeah, the more strings you've got to your bow, the better. So I've never been bored. I've always been a DIY-ish guy, so I do most stuff here at the house. May not be perfect, may not be the best, but it's okay for me. Again, doing the roof on my coffee corner, that was fraught with all sorts of things because it wasn't square, it wasn't level. There was many things that it wasn't, but it wasn't meant to be level because we just put it up just as a shaded area, but now we've just expanded it. But another video will be coming out in the next week or so about that. But problems it caused and problems I had to solve. And it's not perfect, but it's enough and it does me. So no, I've never ever been bored. My truck is 2014. 3 insurance was 5,500 this past year. Yeah, well done. I mean that's cheap insurance. It's not too bad, is it? Hi Les, Calamay from Mask by the Sea. Hello, Mask by the Sea. Been living in Karat since 2023 and loving every day. I wake up to a beautiful sunrise. Yeah, my wife's up at Karat at the minute. She's near CQ. I don't know whether you've actually been to CQ, but it's that big white temple that's there that some movie star has built. Stunningly beautiful, but that's where she lives, near CQ. Yeah, Karat is another huge area. So well done, and nice to see the sunrise every morning. Well done. Question: if you weren't married, would you own a home or just rent and bounce around? The truthful answer for that, if I wasn't married, I'd still have a girlfriend. But if I wasn't committed to be with a girlfriend, I'd probably just bounce around and rent, because the reason why I'm buying this house is because I'm married to Ploy, and Ploy is a number of 26 years younger than me, and we get on well. It's our 10th anniversary this year that we've been together for 10 years. So, it's not just a flash in the pan if you've been together with somebody for 10 years. And it was my way of giving something to her when I've gone. So she will be financially secure when I've gone. And I can't understand the guys who give the girlfriends who've been with them for like 5 or 10 years or so, when they pass away, the girlfriends or wives get absolutely nothing. So that was my trade-off for that. The difference between renting and buying this place is 8,000 baht a month. So that's how much it's costing me in reality. If you look at it bluntly, it cost me 8,000 baht a month more to buy this property than it was to rent it. And but as some people said, well, if you get divorced and things like that, you're going to lose half your house. But if I got divorced and I lost half the house, at least I'd get half the money back. It's valued at about 3 million. So we're 50-50. So I'd get 1.5 million back. Now, if I just rented the property, I'd get nothing back, would I? So swings and roundabouts. It depends how we look upon it. Some people, if you just, want to go around Thailand or go around the world, then it's just best just to rent. Then you can do it month by month. And if you don't like it, or you've got bad neighbors, then you just move. So yeah, I would say if you're single, just rent. But if you're settling down with somebody for long term, if there's ways to do it, to buy it, I would buy it. I have a house in Nakhon Rakchima built 2009. How can I check that is properly earthed? It's just one metal rod in the soil with no earthing pit, and I have no idea if it was tested. Well, again, you can put your own earthen rods as well, and then just run the earth to your fuse board. There's no earthing pits. There's no earthing pits here. The earth cable just disappears into the house somewhere. I have no idea. But the way you can check it if it is earthed is if you get a multimeter and you check from the live to the earth, and if you get 230 volts, you know then it's earth because it's going to an earth path. That's just the simplest way of checking it. But again, you can never have enough earth rods around the house and then just connect them at one point and then check it to the fuse board. But another good thing to do as well is get a RCBO, residual current breaker. So if there's any faults in the electrics, it just goes, if there's an adjustment in the electrics, live to neutral, neutral to earth, any combination whatsoever, and it trips the switch off. So I would go that direction, and that, that'll make your electricity system much safer than it is without one. So yeah, that answered that with a marriage and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't mind being married. I love being married. Me employee, we have our moments. Everybody has the arguments and lost in translation and stuff like that. She openly admits she understands about 80% of what I say, but she just joins the dots for the other 20%. And sometimes it can be lost in translation. I can't speak Thai, and I don't think I'll ever be able to speak Thai because it is a complicated language to learn. Some people, I admire the people that can speak Thai because it's very good if they can do it, but I'm one of them people who can't do it. So, oh, excuse me, I'm just going to get me delivery. That's the beauty of living here as well, getting stuff delivered. I've just got a new mattress topper for the bed, 1,100 or something, cheaper than in. It's the same make as the selling Index, but it's like 1,000 baht cheaper. I'll see what the quality is like when I put it on the bed. But yeah, delivery stuff over here. All the stuff that I've had for the roof, stuff like that, and the brackets, all delivered from Lazada. I've used the Samlaw to get the 6 meter lengths of metal from the local metal agents just around the corner. So yeah, it's dead easy to live here in Thailand. Anything and everything can be done. It was a pleasure finally to meet you at Three Trees yesterday. Your knowledge and wisdom regarding all things in Thailand is what inspired me to retire in Thailand 2 years ago. Thank you. No problem whatsoever. Thanks very much for meeting me yesterday for lunch. It was good. It was good. Thanks very much for joining us. And again, 2 years ago, there you go. Somebody moved here 2 years ago. It's a lovely feeling. Again, it was a great company yesterday. And again, it's just nice to hear the good stories of the people who are living over here. I told my Thai friend that I was going to learn Thai so I could understand the conversations. He said, yes, spend time learning Thai and then we will all speak Isan. Yeah, that's what happens. Again, if I learned Thai, if I went up to Isan, then it's a totally different dialect. It's the Thai is different. And also I had a friend who could speak pretty good Thai, and he was speaking Thai in the bars in Pattaya. Then all the girls would speak Isan, so he didn't understand. And again, I've got another friend who can speak a bit of Thai, but the girls know that he can understand a little bit of the Thai language. So whenever the girls are all together, they all speak Isan, so then he can't understand what they're saying. A bit late, but hi there, Les. No problem. Good evening, good afternoon. Yeah, I'm here only for about another 10 minutes because I've got to go because I'm meeting a subscriber down at Melon Pond Beach, and we're going to have a meal and put the world to rights. He's come over from England, so yeah. So thanks very much for joining us, everybody. Here we go. I've been here an hour now, so I'm going to start ready and packing up now anyway. So it was only a quick one, but thanks very much for those people who joined. So normally I do this for a couple of hours, but today is one of them different. He called yesterday and I said I'll go and meet him today at 5:30. So by the time I get packed up here and driving down to go and meet him, it's about half an hour drive. So that's what I'm going to do. Thanks very much, everybody, for joining and for making the comments. And it's always enjoyable doing this. I get great pleasure out of doing this. And again, if you've got any questions, please send me an email to the lesliepeterson58@yahoo.com. Read all the messages, and if I can answer, and if I can't give you the answer, then I'll put you in the right direction to the people who can. So thanks very much, everybody. Thanks very much for joining me, and I'll see you again in another couple of weeks' time or something like that. Goodbye for now.